Gentlemen, it's 6 o'clock. We'll go ahead and start the Payson City Council meeting for January 3rd, 2024. Chief Spencer volunteered to open this meeting with prayer. He still is. He must have been called out. Good. Yeah, we do.
Dear Heavenly Father, we're be grateful to gather together as members of this community and to help to further the work along here in the area. We pray for that guided direction and blessing to be with us. Pray for the necessary moisture that we need to make it throughout the year. And say these things in the name of Jesus Christ.
Amen. Thank you, Brett. Also, the pledge is volunteered, Linda has volunteered to lead us in the pledge.
Stand and we say that we. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, this will be just a little bit different than most of our city council meetings, being that we're going to swear in some new council members. Would like to go to the oath of office ceremony. How do we like to proceed today?
Before we swear in the new adults, acknowledge the outgoing.
Wonderful. We have two outgoing. Three. Oh, that's right. Three. Sorry. I just got two wrong. We'd like to, I'll go ahead and thank Bob and Linda for. I did that one of the last things I did at the last council meeting, but it's been an absolute pleasure for me to serve with you, and look forward to other involvement you may have in city government and finance. So appreciate you very much.
Yeah, so Mayor and Council, we usually get the outgoing council a gift from the city. This year what we've done, and I can show you and we can leave them here, but since we commissioned the Dowdle puzzle, and every one of you were in the puzzle, but we had Mr. Dowdle, there's a limited edition print, and so he got these together, he signed them. Like I say, they're limited edition. This is one of 10. And there's three of them here. It's got your name on here and the years you served, like this one, Linda Carter, January 4th, 2016 to January 3rd, 2024. So 8 years of service. We have one of these pictures for each of you, and just thank you for your service. And I don't know, we'll give you a minute if you want to each say something. Then we're going to swear in the new council members, and then we're going to just take a break for 20-30 minutes, and we've got reception in the DRC room. There's some food. We want the public to go just thank the outgoing and welcome the incoming. We'll do that for about a half an hour, and then we'll come back and do the business of that the council has with our new council. So,
Kirk, you want to start?
Well, I want to thank staff and the council and mayor for the opportunity I've had to serve on the council. It's been very enjoyable. I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And I enjoyed the camaraderie and the feeling of welcome that I've had this whole time. I enjoy working with the staff. I enjoy working with these other members of the council. And it's been a short time, but I'm glad that I was able to do it. I hope that what I've been able to accomplish in the city has not been in vain, and that someday I can do something else to help with the city. So and thoroughly enjoyed doing this. Which is, it's been a great experience.
Thank you.
Well, I'm really thankful that I've had the opportunity of serving. I love everyone that works here in the city. They've all been so supportive through hard times and good times. And I am so thankful to all of you. You've put up with my jokes, my teasing. And I'm so thankful for every one of you. It's been a wonderful 8 years. I hate to see it end, but I am so thankful for the opportunity.
Thank you, Linda. Well, I echo, I don't think we can say enough about staff. For Dave and the way he leads, and for each of the superintendents that are here. That support us, that we ask questions, we ask for something to be looked at. And never once have I not been, my wife and I were en route the other day to Las Vegas. To go to one of the properties that I have stewardship over, and I received a phone call from a citizen that said, I don't know what you did, but thank you for no more light shining in my bedroom. I now dare get undressed. So everybody involved will know what that had to do with. That was just clear out of the blue. And she said, I'm gonna vote for you next time. And I said, I think the next time's this time. So I said, I'm glad. So thank you, staff. I also want to thank my sweet wife. Tonight I complete, I don't know, Dave, how many years did I end up with? Like 32. 32 years of serving the city. And every time I go out the door, my wife will tell me, remember who you represent. So thank you, dear, for supporting me and being there. There's been some tough times and there's been some fun times. And we look forward to our future and what we have in store waiting for us. I thank the citizens of Payson. They've been so supportive. We haven't always agreed. And I think that's a wonderful thing. Even the council, we've not agreed on everything, but we've come together to make Payson a better community. And I look forward to the new council members. I know their hearts, I know where they're coming from, and look forward to hearing great things from Payson City Council in the next few months. Thank you.
Hey, before we take a break, we'd like to have Ryan and Ann come up and be sworn in. Just for the information of the public, Brian Hewlett was sworn in yesterday. He had a family vacation he went on, but he had to leave last night. And he was going to try to join, I haven't seen his name up here, he was going to try to join part of the meeting. But he was sworn in yesterday and is official. But we'll swear Ryan and Ann in, and then we'll take a break. And please, everybody, go over to that next room and grab some snacks and treats and mingle a little bit. We'll do that for about a half an hour.
Solemnly swear. The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of Utah.
And the laws and ordinances of Payson City.
And the laws and ordinances of Payson City.
And that I will discharge the duties.
And that I will discharge the duties
in office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Twenty-five or 30 minutes. Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you. Like to, before we get into consent agenda, I would like to give the chance to Van and Ryan to say a few words. I'd like to officially welcome them as members of the city council and pledge to them that we will work together for the betterment of Payson City. Sometimes we may disagree. We can be agreeable. Okay, sounds good. Defer to the lady first.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity. I thank all the people that voted for me. I'm going to do my best to do what's best for Payson, and I look forward to working with the rest of the council. And this is going to be an adventure and a great experience.
I'm so grateful to be here. Thankful to the Payson City residents that supported me during the campaign and the ultimate the victory. I'm looking forward to serving the Payson City residents and the city of Payson as well. I'm grateful for the other members of the council. I have a lot to learn. I don't know very much, but I'm here to soak it in and to help slow down the conversation and help make sure that Payson continues in a good direction. And I'm grateful for those that have came before me. And I hope I can continue to carry on that torch. And I'm just so thankful for this opportunity. And up here, it's all city business. And while we may disagree, it's never personal between us. It's always business. And so I'm grateful for that working relationship. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Obviously, we have a third council position, Brian Hewlett, and he'll be here for this council meeting. So we'll move right on to see the consent agenda. Approval of the December 13th, 2023 City Council minutes. Proclamation, cowboy poetry. The reason I'm reading them through there is cowboy poetry the proclamation will be from February 5th to the 10th of 2024. I am a member of the Cowboy Poets of Utah, and we'll be having our symposium this year. We had a hiatus from that because of COVID and other obstacles, but we're going to revitalize that, and it'll be down at the Veterans Home as it has been in the past. So that will be that proclamation. And resolution, multi-jurisdictional emergency medical service agreement. Council, there's no discussion on the consent agenda. I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as outlined by the mayor.
I second.
Okay, have a motion been seconded. Roll call vote starting with Council Christensen.
Yes.
Council Rowland, we'll have to adjust.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Hahn.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carries. Going on to petitions. Cities, the Dreams of Care, Mayor's Youth Recognition Award. Shelby, you here? Yep, I thought I saw you.
The Mayor Youth Recognition nominee for January from Mount Nebo Middle School is Catherine Navarro. She is an all-around amazing student, and here is what some of the faculty and staff had to say about why she was nominated. Catherine is full of life. She brings an abundance of energy to any room that she is in and makes a lasting impression on those she meets. Catherine is the first to volunteer to help teachers with a project or help students who need assistance with an assignment. I love being able to count on her to help out when I need it. Catherine is a great student who sets high expectations for herself and works hard to meet those goals. Her drive to learn and do her best is a trait that will take her far in life and help her reach her fullest potential. Congratulations, Catherine, on this award. You deserve it.
Okay, moving on, we're gonna open the public forum, anyone. Try to limit your information to 3 minutes in that area, so we'll go ahead and open the public forum.
Greetings, my name is Benjamin Winkler. Those of you who have been here before will recognize that I put together the Payson City Easter Sunrise Concert last year. You should have a little packet on your table there in front of you for this year's concert. I realize that we're just over Christmas and only 3 days into the new year, but Easter is the 31st of March this year. So it's coming up real quick. So I just want to let you guys know that it's happening again this year. I've received great support from the city of Payson and from the mayor's interfaith committee last year. I'm looking forward to that same relationship again this year. And this is mostly just to let you guys know that it's going on and it's going to happen. If you have any questions about anything, you've got my contact information there. Please feel free to give me a holler. I will respond at some point or other. And if you know people who are singers or other musicians that should be involved with the city of Payson somehow, tell them how to get a hold of me too. So do you guys have any questions for me or anything that you need clarified there?
Benjamin, how many people came last year?
I don't know, Mayor, what do you think? We had 100, 150?
Yes, it was very well attended, really early in the morning.
Yes.
It is sunrise concert, so you know, it is and it's before daylight savings time kicks in too, so that makes it even a little stranger. But yeah, we had a great response for the first year, and we're looking to build on that and let a few more people know about it in a timely fashion so they can get there for it.
The last year was very, very well accepted, and an honor to be associated with that.
Well, we had some participation from Mayor Wright and from a couple of council members. If you're new on the council this year, you may want to be thinking about, you might get strong-armed into participating again this year. If you think that might happen to you, you might want to get a hold of Bob before he leaves on his mission. See if he's got his notes from last year from what he said. So that worked out really well. So if there are no more.
Council, any questions?
Okay,
Thank you.
you betcha. And you guys need to do this.
If anybody online would like to take advantage of the public forum. Not seeing anyone else in here, unless there is, I'll go ahead and close the public forum. Okay, we'll move on to staff reports. Any staff would like to come up and address us this time? Chief, come on up.
Mayor, welcome new members. I just want to invite the city council, mayor, any of the city staff that'd like to participate in the Citizens Academy. It'll start next month on, February, are we in December? We're in January now. February 8th, I believe, is the starting date if anybody's interested in that. You also probably heard or was informed about our homicide we had on December 22nd, just before Christmas. And I'd just like to publicly send our condolences out to the Norman family and that tragedy. So that's all I have, unless y'all have something for me.
Chief, could you briefly explain what Citizens Council or Citizens Academy is? What it entails?
Absolutely, yeah. Citizens Academy is just about a 8-week program where we invite members of the public. We just started, this will be our second one that we've done. We did last year. It lasts for several weeks. It's 2 nights a week, or 1 night a week. We go through tours of the police department. We talk about crime scene investigation. We talk about community-oriented policing. We do a day in the life, which is basically you go do scenarios with the officers, just kind of to maybe gauge a better understanding for those that are participating on what we can do as neighbors to help reduce crime, be more informed in what's going on in town. So it's just kind of a crash course, basically what you did when you kind of rode around with me for years, but just a crash course on what law enforcement is and what law enforcement does and how you can, help the community and a little bit of self-defense and, a few things like that, drive a patrol car real fast. I'm just kidding. But no, you're more than welcome if you guys would like to do that. I know you got meetings on Wednesday night, so having them on Thursday night too is probably not going to be the funnest thing for your family, but it's a short window. If anyone's interested, please let me know.
Having been associated with that, it's wonderful information for citizens, unwanted citizens. So it's highly advise you to take advantage if you can.
We'll see y'all then, Brett.
Thank you for all you do in your offices. I know that was not something that was fun to have to investigate during holidays, let alone anything else.
Yeah, sad situation for sure.
Mayor and Council, I just wanted to let you know that Main Street has been awarded to Red Pine Construction and it will start on January 15th. So we have been out talking to the businesses along there to let them know. So just wanted to give you guys a heads up in case you get any calls or anything that yes, it is going on. So.
And
What are you
Trav,
gonna do first? Sorry.
no, go ahead, Teresa.
What are they gonna do first? Dig up the,
They're gonna start demolition and then start putting in the underground storm drain storage over there by the old Wells Fargo Bank. That'll be the first stuff they do and then go forward from there.
and how long is it supposed to take?
Roughly, it won't be totally completed until, like September, October for everything that we are actually doing, but we are gonna try to keep pedestrian access till middle of March to end of March for the businesses along Main Street. And then, of course, there'll be some period of time where that is closed. And they'll have to use their back entrances to get in there, to get people in.
Hopefully we'll be able to have a parade that goes down through there in September. That's the one this.
We'll see.
That's the goal.
And Travis, are we doing just the streets right now or parking lots as well?
Right now, it's just Main Street from SR 198 to Third South. That was all the money we had. The total bid was 12.75 million to go all the way to 7th South, and that did not include Utah Avenue or the parking lot. So we awarded 7.125 million to go in just those few blocks to Third South. So.
And this will be a test for some of those businesses, but man, when it's done, it'll be so worth it.
Yeah, it'll be a lot better.
Yeah. And
The contractors have vowed with us that they'll keep access as best as they can to the front, as humanly possible, with some type of approach there. So we'll work with them and work with them without too much problem.
But I'm trying to get some more money from you up.
Well, we're actively trying to find some more money. This year is gonna be kind of hard, but the nice thing about it is the whole project has been engineered, and so we know what we have to do, but it's got to go.
Thank you.
And Travis, sorry, one more thing. Could you give us a brief update on the sewer treatment plant?
I would love to.
Thank you.
We are still waiting on the state of Utah to give us the go-ahead to sign the contracts. And so because of the delay, we've had to go and rebid one of the packages that we had because it's been long enough. Plus, we had to add in American Iron and Steel, Davis Bacon wages, and disadvantaged businesses. So unfortunately, that means the cost will be going up because of what all that is, but I don't have those numbers yet. We probably will in about 2 weeks.
I don't want to cast too much aspersion towards the state, but they have very little money that they've allotted for us to use. Most of it's bond money and yet the state is controlling an awful lot of what is happening there, so.
What are those three things that you said?
Davis-Bacon wages,
What's that?
that is a certain rate that you have to pay based on the grant money. So it's a higher wage that they guarantee that they get, and then
Jill and I talked about it, everything they can cost more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why the
Don't
state
maintenance for
interferes.
me.
Yeah.
Bacon.
And then American Iron and Steel, that's a requirement based on federal funding also, so you have to go through and try to,
Union.
you have to buy as much steel from, that's made in America as you can.
I
And
agree there. And what's the next?
disadvantaged businesses, so women and disadvantaged businesses, you have to at least get solicit bids from those type of businesses. You don't necessarily have to use them if they're not the low bid, but you do have to, so they have to be subs like to our contractor.
We have a lot of them in Utah.
Yeah.
All of that makes it a little more expensive, a lot more expensive.
And we didn't have the Davis-Bacon wages in there before.
We did on one of the packages, but we didn't on the other one, cause that's the path we started down, and then that kind of got derailed.
Is there federal funding associated with it? Is that what we have?
That's, yes.
I think we need to check that. I don't know that we're making money, taking federal money, and have to pay more to get things built.
That's all we can push pull.
Yeah,
It's the same with when we do CDBG money, like mayor, it's all,
that's what we were
it's all
talking
the
about.
same.
Yeah. Thanks, Travis.
Nothing's free.
No, nothing. Dave?
Just a reminder, Mayor and Council, this next week, we will have CMP, the shooting range, president here. I think he's meeting with the DRC on Tuesday. I think he's meeting with some of the new council members. Next week, there's a presentation up at the state for some grant money that we received. We're gonna have some representation there as well, but we're still working to get that through the BLM. We are meeting with the BLM on Monday. And, we're just still trying to push to get, BLM to release that land up there. And it'll be a great thing for the state of Utah and Payson and Utah County if we can jump through all the hoops and the red tape that we have through the federal government. So that's what our plan is, and we're glad that he's coming out this week and this next week, and just so you're aware. Some of you may have been invited to some of the meetings, and also Senator McKell is meeting with some of you, I think, tomorrow. So appreciate that, and Happy New Year. It's gonna be a fun year.
Do we have the chamber banquet next week?
It's been postponed because of the inability of both mayors from Payson and Santa Cruz not being able to be there, and then some other legislators that happen to be scheduled on a MAG meeting.
Okay.
So it's gonna be.
I saw it on my calendar, and I'm like, that.
Well, and I hadn't heard,
But, so that.
I hadn't heard for sure that they had moved it. They were trying to move it.
They're moving it to, the last I heard was, would be on the eighth of
February.
Yeah, they were gonna have to make, do all the.
So mark that on your calendar if any of you want to, the dues that we give to the chamber gives us a table of 8. And so if you want to go, let us know that you want to go. And if we need more than 8, we can get more. But they do want us to support that and be there. And yeah, I think it was a conflict with another meeting that the mayors had to be to. And they both give a mayor business of the year award, and they thought it wouldn't be good to have both mayors missing from Santa Quin and Payson and give the award. So yeah, if you know the date, that's great. We'll plan on that, write it
The
down.
eighth is what they're going.
Okay, thanks.
What time, man? It's always a good one.
Okay, any other staff? Okay, if not, we'll move on to council, reports, Council Hyatt.
I just want to thank staff for everything they did for their staff over the holidays, because I know they appreciate it. I know I appreciate it, even though I totally spaced it. Sorry, stuff happens in life, and sometimes you just forget stuff. Don't let that happen more than once. But thank you for taking care of all of our staff. I appreciate that.
Nothing right now.
Just a little bit, I stopped out at the dump to get rid of, construction waste, and I really like how well they've done out there. They've kept it clean, they're keeping things machined down, the grinder's working good, keeping things, smashed up, take up less space. I'd love to see that new scale house up and running. Sean, let's get some power out there. I think that's where our hang up is.
Easier said than done, but we're working.
Really nice. And I know that it's coming. I know, but, a while ago, I brought up that it would be, I'd love to see some recycling bins placed up at the landfill on the top side of the gate. So people that do care about the community and recycling and things like that, they can have that option. So that we're not dumping illegally in McDonald's to get rid of our cardboard. But that they could have some cardboard, glass, still recycling up there. You go up there, you pay your dump fees, and then you can sort that stuff out if they want. And I know that we kind of had talked a little bit about that, but as we get closer to that new way station being open, I would love to see those and see the feasibility of that and go from there. I don't know who to follow up with that, but there you go.
I can check, they do have the metal that
They do have the metal up there. But it's the other, the cardboard, the glass, the other things like that would be nice. I don't know if, who would get to come get it. We can get a contract with somebody. I'd like a short-term contract until we can figure out whether or not it's worth it.
We have the curbside recycling with Republic, we could talk to them, see if they have bins, I don't know.
Yeah. I know, I just have talked to some of the community and they think it's a little too expensive to take it. But I mean, if you could take a ton of recycling out for $3, it'd be way better than a garbage can full for.
We are subsidizing that a little bit too, just so the citizens know.
Yeah, that we do subsidize the recycling on the curb and I don't know, I'm just throwing it out there and seeing if where our money's best spent.
Republic was here earlier.
Yeah.
Did you have card funding?
No,
I got a card too.
I would have brought it up if I'd have talked to him.
He didn't want to talk to you.
I know. We've rubbed shoulders one too many times, I can tell.
I'll check with him.
Food for thought there, thanks.
Okay, thank you. We'll, move on to number 4, presentation by Comcast. I've got Marcus down here, but I know it's not Marcus.
No, I'm Joe.
Come on up, Joe.
Over here. Silver's flag. Just take that shot at that. Oh, good.
Silver like the color and then ZWEIG.
Thank you. Hey there, council, and Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for having me out here tonight. Congratulations to the newly elected council member. I was telling them at the reception, I work in politics, so see a lot of city council members come and go, and this is just the best day every other year because it's when local government's at its best and it's exciting and it's bright and it's new and it's the chance to do good stuff. And so I'm really excited for both of you and for the other council member who's not here. Today I'm coming to talk to you because I've been going around the state. I've been talking to lots of folks, usually one-on-one, about 10-15-minute conversations. I had my good friend Marcus reach out to Mayor Wright here, and Mayor Wright said, "How about you talk to the whole council?" which is great, nice, and efficient. So I appreciate the opportunity to present. I don't have any slides, anything like that. I just want to give you sort of a general update on what's going on. So first, a little bit about me. My name is Joe Silverswag. I am the Government Affairs Manager for Comcast Operations for the states of Utah and Idaho. It means I handle relationships with local governments, city and county governments in those two states, anywhere that our network reaches. Comcast, for those of you who don't know, that's your Xfinity home internet, your Xfinity mobile, also a big entertainment company, so Universal Studios, NBC, USA Today, a lot of kind of entertainment products, Peacock, all of those kinds of things as well. So that's the company that I represent. Although in my role, we're really talking about the internet. We're really talking about broadband, in particular, our relationship with you when it comes to how we build our network. So that's what I do. That's why I'm here. I live in Murray. I'm sort of the local face of the company when it comes to local governments. The three things I want to talk to you about today is, one is our network is getting faster. Two is our network is getting bigger. And three is we're still just as committed to supporting communities as we ever have been. So first on the faster, you may have seen a few months ago, there was a news story. Colorado Springs is the first Comcast city to be offering what are called duplex speeds. So I don't know how much you guys know about internet, but if you think about internet, the information that travels on the internet, like it's traveling on a highway, on our current system, we have about 12 to 13 lanes of traffic dedicated to going in one direction and 1 lane of traffic dedicated to going the other way. And that's the information that you send up to the internet. That works for most people. In fact, 13 to 1 is the sort of average broadband network use. Most of the information that comes is people downloading things. You're watching your Netflix, your kids are watching YouTube, you're working on a Zoom call, you're streaming in 15 different videos and only lifting one up, right? So it's a very different sort of imbalance. So the way that our network has been designed is 13 lanes of traffic going one way, 1 lane of traffic going the other way. However, we are upgrading all of our systems and all of the sort of the language that our computers use to talk to your computers. That's called DOCSIS 4.0, and that allows us to have information going both ways on every lane all the time, which is a terrible way to build a highway, but it's a really good way to build the internet, and it's going to let us offer what we call duplex speeds over the next few years in every single community that we currently serve. Now, you may have heard that we're, for example, building out Santaquin, and we're going to be building out Santaquin with a fiber to the premises network, which is going to allow us to offer those kinds of duplex speeds. We're going to be able to offer those same kinds of speeds within the next few years right here in Payson on the current architecture. So we don't have to dig everything up. We don't have to run a bunch of new lines. It's all software and hardware that we're improving at our end of the system and also at the modems for our customers. So all those speeds are going to start going up. We hear loud and clear that that's something that's really important to communities. And so we've invested billions of dollars, about $8 billion over the last 5 years, upgrading our network to make that happen. The next one is the network's getting bigger. I mentioned Santaquin. We hadn't had any in Santaquin, any customers, any network in Santaquin. In the midst of negotiating an agreement with them right now. We're planning to build out all 7,000 homes in that area. We're really excited about that. That's not the only place we're building out. We're also building out the Ogden Valley. We just were awarded a grant to build out several thousand homes in southern Idaho. And over the next few months, you're going to start to see this grant application process take place. There's billions in federal dollars, including about $323 million for the state of Utah to build out broadband to rural communities. Now, we're pretty well built out in Payson. I don't anticipate that we're going to be looking at Payson as a specific area where we're going to be applying for grants, but we are going to be applying for grants. I surely hope in this particular area of the state, the sort of southern Utah County area, and as we head out west, maybe towards Eureka, I'm anticipating that we'll be looking really close at those areas for grant applications. I want you to know that we're really looking at building out all of your neighboring cities and your communities. So just make sure that everybody has access to that network. Everything that we build with grants is going to be that fiber to the premises architecture, but again, every customer over the next couple of years is going to be able to get those same high speeds upload, high speeds download at the same time. So there's not going to be a difference in product for any of these folks. The last thing is our commitment to the community. So we last year did about $340,000 here in the state of Utah in cash and in-kind giving to nonprofits all across the state. Did all sorts of different things. United Way of Utah County. We worked with them to help bring digital equity to a lot of needy folks in the Provo Valley. Just one example, we went up to, which high school was it? Not Eagle Mountain. The next one over. No, that's one district. One of the high schools over there had some refugees who were had just come to town. We gave them a bunch of a grant to give them a bunch of digital education so they knew how to use their computers, also gave them computers, all sorts of things. It was really cool sitting up there got a chance to see these guys get it. There were 3 refugee families from Ukraine. They lost their homes when Russia invaded and had to come out here. And it was just a remarkable moment just to see them get some things they needed and get that leg up that they need to kind of get back on their feet and contribute as best they can to the community. One of the key ways that we do that is through a program called Internet Essentials. That's Comcast's low-cost, high-speed broadband for anybody who is on any kind of federal assistance. So for $10 a month, we offer people 50 by 10, and for $30 a month, we offer people 100 by 20, which is the federal broadband standard. Those are internet speeds. That's the speed of upload and download that you're getting. We do that because we're really committed to making sure that everybody has access to the internet, that everybody can afford it. Right now, there's a program called the Affordable Connectivity Program that's up to $30. It's kind of like food stamps for the internet. Up to $30, up to 200% of poverty allows people to be able to get their internet for free. So we're connecting thousands and thousands of folks. We've actually connected 1 million people to Internet Essentials over the last 10 years. And this last year, we did something called Project Up, which was a $1 billion commitment. That's with a B, $1 billion commitment to connect another 1 million Americans to these programs over the next 10 years. So we're just really deeply engaged in communities. One of the great things about having you all here is how well you know your communities. And what I'd really like to hear from you, if you have any ideas, are what are community organizations here in Payson that might benefit from our kinds of digital equity support that we offer. We offer in a lot of different languages. I think our materials come in 22 different languages. Everything that we do is English, Spanish, back to front. So we're really, really good at helping communities who, English is a second language, who are, maybe still integrating into the community. We love to do all that kind of work. So we'd be really interested to hear from you folks if you have ideas about nonprofits or other community organizations that we could potentially support. As we're building out, we're especially looking to start to deliver that community impact here out where our network is going to be new, so that our first handshake, our first introduction to folks, they know that we're not just here to sell them internet, we're also here to take care of them. And that's all I have for you today. Just a few minutes. I'm certainly happy to take any questions. Hopefully not as many tough ones, but I can do tough questions too. If your internet's out, let me know and I can get somebody out to your house in Jiffy. Don't be shy. So yeah, that's what I've got for you this evening, and thanks very much for the time.
Any questions, council? Just appreciate the ability that our citizens have to choose, and we have a number of options here, so.
Yeah.
The chance to choose.
It's a great community for growth, for sure.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, well, thank you folks very much.
Okay, moving on to E, action items, resolution appointment of a new planning commission member and oath of office. Calls to the mayor to make this nomination, and my nomination is to Kurt Beecher. As it turns out, he's replacing Ryan. You replaced him. And so his tenure would be from this point till April, and then after April, then it will be open to the general public for people to submit their applications. So I would submit Kurt Beecher as my nomination to be on the planning commission. If there's any council discussion, I'll open it up.
Where this is my former seat, should I abstain, Mayor?
I don't think you have to.
Okay.
Any other comments?
And I'm excited to see someone get on the planning commission that can hit the ground running and do a lot more work than I could while I was on there.
And that was the thought behind this as well. Okay, so I will ask for a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the appointment to the new planning commission, as Kurt Beecher.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have motion that's seconded by Council Hyatt,
Yes.
Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Christensen.
Yes.
Thank you, motion carries. Okay, we ready to do the swearing in? Can you stand over there? I gotta move.
resolved. Support the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the state. Discharge the duties. Okay.
Welcome. I don't know you. Okay, moving on to number 2, resolution amendments to the Payson City fee schedule. John, would you like to enlighten us?
Thank you. And Brett will have to talk about the landfill after, and explain what's going on there.
I know what's going
You know what's
on.
going on.
That is.
You've ruffled them now, but no, anyway. What this is about is, we've been charging for the last 7 years a fee to replace the meter with it when there's a solar installation on a home. And that fee wasn't formalized in our fee schedule. And so we're just right now asking to formalize that. And so it was $495 for the meter service and then $100 for the connection fee. And that takes care of the inspections and the new meter and the movement of meter base. And it's kind of interesting. I was asking the guys, do you guys feel like this is the right amount, you know, and they did feel that way. And I guess that they actually wondered if it was enough because some of the companies take 4 or 5 times of doing inspections and redoing things with them, going over things with them to get their installations correct with our standards. And so that's what these fees involve. We're just trying to formalize them.
Do we have fees for multiple tests?
No, we don't, and that's kind of what we
call back, you could do gratis, but after that, I would think.
yeah, and that's might be what we pursue later. That's exactly the conversation we had is maybe I'd heard another city did that and it helped the companies to start getting a little more professional, pay attention to what they're doing, help change behavior. Because sometimes there's like a
Our
training.
inspectors
process.
aren't changing what they're seeing.
No,
So
no.
they're not getting the punch list done.
Right.
That's-
Right,
We've actually made that change as far as, building inspection.
Yeah,
If they, we'll go back one time, if they keep not fixing what they've been asked to fix, then we can charge them again.
yeah, we haven't done that in this case, and so we probably should.
Charge to the solar company or the citizen.
It is getting charged to the citizen, the solar, through the solar company. I mean, ultimate cost would end up going to the citizen of this.
I think you should go to the solar company.
We can make it stick. We can make it
If
stick.
they're not doing it right.
Yeah,
that should-
Right.
That's not right.
it isn't. I'm not sure how to make that become particular to
Maybe
them.
we can have it when they come in, have them apply to do that, or when they put solar on.
Yeah,
Could we put it in there that they can give that to their solar company and say, if you have to go back more than one time,
It's on the solar.
it's on the
company.
solar company. Maybe we,
yeah.
is there anything we could do there?
that would
We
be.
could, we can look into that. We actually are probably gonna come to you in the next month or two with revamping our whole. A lot of what we're doing with our solar program, because it's one of the problem areas I'm seeing when I first came. And I was trying to push it off, but we we're getting so many people brought into that world, and it's not fair what's going on between the citizens and some people that have and don't have and stuff like that. So we need to have a discussion about that and drill down on it. And so we'll try to do that for you very quickly.
Sean, you know better than most, the solar company is still kind of the Wild West. I mean, there's so many different ones doing so many different things.
Yeah.
And some of it shoddy installation. And so if there's anything we could do during the application process to shore them up, to hold them to a higher standard, I think it'd be a good thing.
Yeah, and yeah,
Kind of infrastructure.
Right.
Yeah,
And it's not the citizens' fault that we had to send the inspector back out 30 times because they can't put a ground wire in or
Yeah.
something, so.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's the hardest thing is, you have some really good people in that space and you have some people that are really fly by night. And so it's been difficult in any city.
Required to be licensed to install it.
I think they are, but it doesn't necessarily mean everything is good.
No.
Doesn't mean the deal is good either. And that's what I want to talk about more so that maybe we can protect our citizens a little more. We can see how far we can go with that. But I actually have the reimbursement rate, something that's more equivalent of what we're buying from the market. So we aren't hurting those that aren't putting on solar, but those that are. And I don't know. I mean, I'm very pro solar, using it, investing in the utility grade installations, but I don't like it when the people that are choosing to do it are getting advantage of the people that aren't choosing to do it. You gotta make it more fair, and then I don't like what's happening with this situation either. With some of the installations.
Bring that to us then.
Yeah. So,
Any other questions? Okay. Ready for a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the amendments to the Payson City fee schedule in regards to fees for solar panel installation.
Formalize it.
Formalize it, that's the word I was looking for.
Because we were charging.
I know, that's why I was, formalizing the thing.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, starting with Council Christensen,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Hyde.
Yes.
Thank you. Moving on to number 3, Luna Springs annexation petition for consideration of acceptance and further review at approximately 1,500 east, 100 south, consisting of 16.229 acres. And I understand this is just to consider condition of the acceptance and further review.
I pulled it up on a map, it looks like an island. Islanders on the edge of town.
It's would be contiguous.
Who gets to pick the name?
The application sponsor, so.
They have to be different every time. And so it gets really, really difficult to do it. All subdivisions, all these annexations, they'll have a unique name.
So,
That person's name,
I have no idea.
Zaria Springs.
I know that when I first started here about a year and a half ago, there was a request for some property in this same vicinity by the same individual, but it was a smaller parcel of property. And the council determined at that time it wasn't timely, and that annexation request was called an area. And he wanted to do the same thing, but he had to change the name, and so that's why he added the Springs to it, so.
And he is online, if you have a question that you can ask him.
Yeah, he is online.
And he's done a lot of annexations.
Yep.
Rob.
Rob McNeil, correct. Before getting into the area to be considered, I wanted to bring the council aware of this annexation review criteria that was adopted in December of 2022. Annexations don't have to meet all this criteria. It's just a good gauge for staff and council to try to determine. So you can see on here these little decimal points on the end of these. If it was a perfect annexation, for example, we would award all of these decimals and it would add up to the number 1. And so what we would request of any annexation and this annexation would be that they address these criteria and make sure that they could basically check mark these boxes. And what they can't check mark, it doesn't necessarily rule it out, but it just gives us a better gauge of timeliness for said annexation. So I'm not going to go over those thoroughly with you unless you have questions on them.
What would this annexation score? Just out of curiosity.
Well, some of that
You don't have.
some of that would be determined from Mr. McNeil as he goes over this.
Okay.
So
Staff will figure it out.
Yeah, and,
Yeah, and I didn't know if you had, this annexation has met its 0.6 of the.
and I would like to say that to you, but we don't know that yet.
Okay,
So,
and this is just preliminary, this isn't an actual annexation.
correct.
I mean, it's going back to infrastructure fixing and stuff like that. Is that right? Is that right?
Say that, I can't hear you very well.
If it's time forward or not time forward, it goes back to infrastructure questions.
That's gonna be probably the biggest holdup of typically any annexation within the city is whether or not we can provide the services and whether or not the infrastructure can be brought to that area.
Is it there?
It's pretty close.
It's close by, but let me get into it a little bit with you. So this area right here is South Haven Farms. And these 3 lots right here are the proposed, area to be annexed. And they're the ones part of this, request.
This is the highway on the way out to Salem.
Yeah, so this is SR 198 right there.
So the hospital's just.
The hospital's probably right about here somewhere.
So that's the
That
commercial piece
1500
right there,
east is.
This one is, I believe this one's commercial right here.
and so it's the properties behind.
Yeah,
it.
it's these 3 red circled or red outlined properties here. So it is in close proximity, but one thing that staff has mentioned is they would have to verify that sewage, for example, could be gravity fed to a certain point on these properties and then therefore tie into our system. Another would be that if there's any upsizing that would be necessary, that the applicant would be responsible for the upsizing of the system. You can see here, this is the requested zoning that they're requesting is that the S1 highway service zone, and then they would want to potentially put a mixed use overlay. Part of this has to do with what is on our future land use map, because our future land use map, I did not include it here, but it's a big blob right in this whole area, and it shows mixed use node here. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this property, if it were to come into the city, needs to be zoned as is requested. This is just what the applicant has requested after having a discussion with me about the future land use. So if council and planning commission have other opinions on that, that could definitely be entertained. It's not like it's a deal killer for the applicant either.
How's our high density coming? Like, how is it as what we're supposed to have per se in our city?
Our moderate income housing plan.
Yeah,
I think Robert tweaked that, and put it in, but I think we're deficient in a couple of areas, which I think most communities are, it's the lower
the low income, but how do you get that? I mean, I don't.
Well,
Like
one
this
is
one.
like the facility Utah County has right there.
Across the road.
Yeah, the DCFS in that area, I know Wasatch Mental Health owns some of that property, and I know that Utah County Housing Authority has been looking at doing a project there. That would help with that, the lower income.
They brought it to us once and
Yeah,
we
they did years
weren't
ago.
very receptive of it.
Well, it wasn't us, it was the people around it too, did not want it.
Well, I think the city had also determined on South Haven Farm, because now you've got all those apartments, it's kind of hard to say, well, it's okay there, but across the street it's not.
Yeah, and it was a long time ago.
And I think they will bring it back. I think they were, COVID hit and everything else, but I think they still are interested in doing a project there.
And this area makes sense for some of that, maybe not necessarily this annexation area, but that's to be determined upon granting zoning. But this 1500 East will be the corridor that goes up into the new freeway interchange. And so this entire corridor is gonna be a busy area. And so higher densities and commercial and things like that would be more suited for this area.
Yeah.
Yes, 1500 East will be that intersection.
That 1500 East will become the Mountain Eagle Beltway or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like, I'm okay for-
2100 west.
I don't want any more high density like that. I think it's like we need to look at what it is we need. As far as high density, I just really want to know where we're at.
And
I don't have any problem moving forward with the annexation. When it comes to us as the annexation, I think we need to really sit down and make sure that we're putting the zoning associated with it, because that, my understanding is our only chance to control what happens there is at the annexation point, establishing.
at the annexation and when you put some zoning to it.
What is, Mike, do we have an area specific plan? And that's, it says mixed use, is that what it says?
So our future land use map shows a mixed use node for this whole area here, including some additional area outside the city if it were to come in. It's kind of an ambiguous blob, and so it's kind of an ebb and flow area there. Part of that had to do with the idea that at the time that the future land use map was done, they weren't quite certain where the Nebo Beltway was going to be. But others just had to do with the fact that SR 198 is a major highway through the community. It's going to have a lot of traffic, and it makes sense to have higher density and commercial.
There's 3 of them in Payson right now. There's 8 south and the freeway, Main Street and the freeway, and this 3 nodes that are this little red dot is what's called.
But all of what we're talking about right here, just to approve, to have this area established. Right?
So all that's being considered for tonight would be to give the applicant and staff the opportunity to proceed forward, and staff to be able to thoroughly review this and then bring back some findings to you based off of what staff wants to see from the applicant. And then what we would do after that is we'd schedule a planning commission meeting, vet some of it there, and then it would come back to council for an actual public hearing and additional input from council.
I think we need to leave open commercial.
I think
Now we
neighborhood.
decide as they start looking at it.
And I think Mr. McNeil's on there. Rob, are you there? Are you available?
I am.
Does any of the council have a question for Mr. McNeil?
Any success finding any commercial yet out there?
Any success? I'm having a hard time hearing the council members.
Right. It was not, excuse me. So we had, I know that people were lowballing you on your property out there, for commercial, and I'm just wondering, have you been talking to anybody recently about anything going out there?
I have not.
Okay.
Any further discussion, council, any other questions?
Specifically in that area, I think we've hit our mark for extremely high density down there. So I really like to explore looking at it differently than mixed use.
And I think that the application sponsor is open to that. He just requested this because this was what was part of that future land use map. So,
All those again will be.
and this will be, yeah, this is no formalization of anything. Yeah.
Further research.
I'm with Ryan, the urban sprawl, we need to start the other direction. So we've been ignored. I don't want great big apartments like South Haven has right there. I think that the apartments are more in that top right-hand quadrant, and the back, the southeast corner of South Haven.
Mostly here.
Yeah, it's actually more like townhomes and things of that nature they're trying to get. There are some even 1/4 acre lots in that corner, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I believe coming down this way.
Yeah, so that urban sprawl is starting out into there, and I think we need to kind of head that way if possible.
And I think to be mindful of the single family homes that are out there too.
Yeah.
As well, and create a better buffer. So I think that's really something you look at really closely. And Mike, how far does Salem City come? How far away is Salem City from that?
We're 1800 west, that's currently 2100 West County, but we're about 1800 west.
Okay.
That's coming west from 1600 west.
Or I guess would Elk Ridge be closer than Salem right there?
Depends on which one.
Depends on.
Okay.
Land grabs down through there first, and do we have an annexation agreement through there?
We have expansion area map for our area and Salem, and I believe that they touch, I don't believe Elk Ridge comes into that area.
Okay, so now right there. I think it'd be great to study it and come back with the information for the council to consider.
So just a few things here. I already mentioned about the future land use map. We want to make sure that the applicant's aware that they need to address those weighted criteria that I mentioned earlier. The applicant does have a copy of that criteria. And then the big thing is whether or not the infrastructure can be dealt with. And so the applicant would need to show us how that would be addressed for the infrastructure.
Did they make that bigger out there when they put that in?
I think Travis could answer that, but I believe it was sized for what's there now.
That's what I thought.
Sounds about hard.
We couldn't require them to do anything other.
At what point in time, I mean, is that just as development happens that the Nebo Beltway would have sewer and water and stuff put under it to facilitate all of that?
On the north side.
Yeah, it seems more like the direction we should be heading out through there. I don't know, it's planning and developing, in my opinion, rather than trying to get it up over the hill, let's run the crap around it.
Makes sense.
All of which will be answered in this.
I meant that literally.
But that would be up to the applicant to give us how he's going to address those things with infrastructure and sewage and things like
Well,
that.
he can't afford to run it that way. We wouldn't expect Rob to run the sewer all that direction, that's a long.
No, but there is a lift station on the other side.
Yeah. But I just say, in this future planning, if we say, hey, this isn't, but we can stretch it for a little while, let's make it work until we can get that bigger line out and around there. That's,
With the Army Corps issue, pretty much gone away on that lift station.
Did it go away?
It can be upsized.
okay.
And so there could be more.
This is a Travis problem.
Yeah, Travis.
You're welcome.
Yes. Just for the record, the lift station was originally sized for a lot bigger area, but less density. So when South Haven was approved, they took up between that, the 55 and older and Scott Phillips's development, that takes up all the capacity, so it has to be upsized to allow this.
So would they have to upsize that?
Well, with the sewer plant, we don't really have any money right now to,
I know, but what I'm saying is,
yes, they
because
would.
he's the one that wants to do it, it would have to be him, okay.
Okay,
Well, I'm okay with moving forward with that.
Yeah, he can.
okay. I'm ready for a motion then.
I'll make a motion that we, allow the Lunaria Springs annexation petition to be considered by staff and, those things for Rob need to be discussed and go his way.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and seconded, starting with roll call vote with Council Hyatt,
Yeah.
Council Moss,
Yes.
Council Rowley,
Yes.
Council Christmas.
Yes.
Thank you.
Sorry, I got a little wordy there, Kim, I apologize.
Okay, moving on. Resolution, Southern Utah Valley Power System revised bylaws. Sean, you're back up.
Thank you. So most of you probably don't know what SUVPS is, but Southern Utah Valley Power Systems. And what it acts as is a transmission and substation function for Springville, Spanish Fork, Salem, SCSD, and Payson. And that's how we kind of join forces and create interlocal, and that's how we get power around to our cities. And then from there, we have our own transmission lines and substations where we get it out to the citizens. We've been going over these agreements for the last couple of years, a lot of hashing it out back and forth, and we finally all agree. And so we are all bringing our documents, these founding documents back to the city council and mayors to get approved. And it's kind of interesting because in a way, SUVPS doesn't own a lot of stuff. They own a few substations, a few transmission lines, but there's a lot of easements and power lines that are owned by the Bureau of Reclamation currently, and then those are supposed to come into our hands here this next summer. And so Congress, it's before Congress, and it's taking a long time, and it'll probably get approved soon. And so with these founding documents, with those right-of-ways formalized, we are starting to get in a position where we can do bonding and build some lines that we need to build. We're right at the, right at capacity right now in the southern end of the valley. And with the growth of some of our other cities around, we're ready to have problems. And so we're trying to get a lot of things built quickly, and so it's pretty crucial that Springville had more capacity, so the war.
Just kidding, Sean, I know where
No, it was actually, there's a couple cities that have grown really fast, and they outgrew their capacity, and so Payson had capacity, Springville didn't, SCSD did, but the others were kind of been able to use ours. And so there's kind of a fight, we couldn't get them to figure out how to pay for it. So all these agreements make it where we start at zero, there's a bunch of money going in to build some substations, and then from then on, we're paying according to our use and demand. And so it'll be very fair. It'll be done more from an engineering point of view rather than a political point of view. That's what our goal is. So that's the worst thing we can think about, having really big outages in our area that are something that we don't have control over. And so that's what these agreements are about. And then one of the things that Bob wanted me to point out too that's important is that no bonds will be issued without consent of the members' governing bodies, which would be you guys. And then prior to the issuance of any bonds by SUVPS shall send written notice of the planned bond issuance to the mayor, chairperson, administrator, manager of each member. That'll also go to the directors. And so there'll be a lot of people that should be in the know before anything's done, and make sure everyone understands what's happening. And that we get your approval before anything's done. And so right now, Ryan has been assigned to that board, and he's starting to learn and come and hear some of the things. It'll take a little while for him to absorb all that, but Bob's been an awesome proponent and helpful there and do a lot. And so, and Ryan will do a great job, and we can talk all the time. I get him meetings or whatever, and then he can explain it to you guys, or I can.
Just so the council knows, that was the kind of a have-to thing that we wanted to have that a smooth transition. And we'll be doing some council assignments.
Yeah, it's a pretty technical assignment, and it's pretty involved, and it's at 6:30 in the morning too. So yeah, I don't know why we have to. I don't know, we're dumb. They used to have it at a cafe, and they don't even do that anymore. So it's like, there's not even cafes. I mean, they have bad donuts and some juice, you know. It's like, I don't know.
The water department does the same stupid thing. 7 in the morning. We don't have donuts.
I was impressed, Sean, in these meetings, that it's obvious that power is becoming a hot commodity, right? And everybody's trying to use more of it, and our infrastructure is just not there yet to support it. So we're trying to scratch and claw to catch up. And with these new agreements, all of the cities are becoming more married together in this, and it's getting to the point, someone even joked that we're not going to get a divorce because it's going to be too expensive to get a divorce from these other cities, and we're sharing a lot of lines and substations, and there's going to be some big things coming up, including a bond in the future. I don't know when, but they're discussing that, which will be only the second time in the history of this organization applying for a bond to all these cities for millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Everybody's
So
paying.
Everybody's going to pay
everyone's
for it.
paying for it in the amount that they use it. We are also, the IRA Act, we've submitted paperwork to the state. The state's in control at first, and then the feds become in control after the state lets the projects pass that they want to. Starts out about $50 million for the first year, and then it's split in half between, so 25 million between the munis and Rocky Mountain Power, and then that can get split up. But where we represented all 5 cities trying to get this project that wants it, also represented cities from UAMPS and UMPA at the same time. We're trying to show, hey, you can get a lot of bang for your buck if you focus your money here. And so we're trying to get money to pay for one of the power lines that we just got the easements all bought that goes between Spanish Fork substation and the Taylor substation, which is right here to the north of the Nebo power plant on the highway there, right next to, it's kind of by that Leland overpass. It's right there on that land. Yeah.
So there's a new one on the side that Spanish works, and then this one will be on this side, the big SUVPS one. But yeah, we're just trying to get some rings built to create some redundancy and to hold up the system.
And I looked over these bylaws quite extensively. I don't know very much, but I tried to soak it in the meeting, and then we talked a little bit, and I think some good changes were made. And, you know, nothing would be decided on unless we have all the approval and consent of all the councils, but I just know I'm there representing Payson City, so I'll always, you know, check with you guys and discuss things before we make
Yeah.
$1 million decisions.
Appreciate you being willing to take on that.
Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Not, I'm ready for a motion.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the SUVPS systems revised bylaws and also the systems interlocal agreement as presented.
Are those
We need to do we need separate ones, Kim, or we can do them?
Two
Yeah,
separate,
so
okay.
Just the ones.
Just the SUVPS revised bylaws as presented.
Okay,
I'll
I'll
second.
You
Oh,
second.
sorry. Ann wants this one, let her have it. Put a notch in there, Ann.
Okay, motion from Brian and do I have a second? Okay, roll call, Council Christensen.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes. Yes.
Now we can consider number 5, resolution of the Utah Valley Systems interlocal agreement. Any further explanation, Sean, or just go with you?
No,
Okay, any discussion about that? Okay, all for a motion?
Have that in there. You gotta put your name on the board.
Okay, I'll motion that we approve the Southern Utah Valley Power Systems interlocal agreement as presented. I'll second.
Okay, motion's been seconded, starting with Council Hyatt.
Yes.
Council Moss.
Yes.
Council Rowley.
Yes.
Council Christensen.
Yes.
Thank you, Sean. Appreciate
thank
it.
you.
Thank you for making that clear.
Okay, we are to that point in our meeting that I'll accept the motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
We're adjourned.